Hello and welcome. I'm Atheist Antichrist, and today I'm going to be playing a classic from 1996, 97, somewhere around there. Yeah. So, this game, I remember I bought it at Best Buy from the bargain bin for like $2.99, and I actually found it to be surprisingly addictive. I mean, I played the fuck out of that game, and much to the dismay of my wife at the time. But I was practically obsessed with it. And then here recently, I discovered that you can play it online. And so I started kind of screwing with it now and then. And then I discovered this version, which is basically a DOS wrapper, and you just click on a batch file and it runs. So that's kind of cool. I don't have to connect to a server and play on a server that's busy and slow. So I mean, it's definitely an improvement doing it this way. But and then you're right. I'm gonna pause it and I'll get back into it when we're in the game. All right, and here we are. Name of my company is Testicles Shipping. I always start as Tessarian, and I'll explain why in a moment. But Tessarian, if you're going to play this game, is the way to go. I mean, the race that you choose doesn't really apply to anything but the planet that you start with, but it's a good idea to start with a Tessarian planet, which will become clear as I go along. Alright, so the very first thing I'm going to do is sell that piece of shit because the if you look, the maintenance is like 5,000 for that tiny little piece of shit, but it's only 2,500 for the next step up. So the little ship, in addition to only having 8 carry slots, will cost more in maintenance fees. So obviously that's less than ideal. So, alright, so here we go. The very first thing I'm going to do is crank my pricing up. There we go. I just did that. And maintenance, I'm going to go ahead and hike that on up to 90. When I start making money, I'll turn that up to 100, but I'd like to try to save a little bit while I can. Alright, so on this planet I've got ore, food, and people. Although the only thing I'm concerned about on my starter planet is that it has people and food. So what I want to do is I want to find planets that are in range, which with current engine technology, 2.8 is the range. I'm not sure what it's 2.8 of, but light years, who knows. Alright, so this planet has fuel and people. What I want to do is, I want to find planets in range that have either fuel or ore. Food really isn't too important, and they all have people. Now, if you look at this guy over here, Galeno, whatever, it doesn't have ore or fuel. That makes this a worthless garbage planet. Except in the rare case where it has food and I need to get food to another planet because they require it. But generally speaking, I consider that these planets trash. And I'm going to recruit another negotiation team. So, here we go. Negotiate with them. And we'll just crank that all the way down. And we'll negotiate with them. Alright. Excellent. Now I want to negotiate with these guys. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to build a chemical industry. Then I'll come here and I will build a metal industry. Now I need a ship. So I'm going to come in here and build a custom ship. Make sure it's got shields, weapons, and an engine. And now it's time to build her out. Now when you're building your routes, I always load the ships based on the assumption that they're going to continue to develop and I will eventually be able to fill it up. Right now I only produce 3 people, well 3 of each per cycle, whatever time period it is. But it's not going to take long for this to raise in development, so those will all be forced fairly soon. Next leg of the trip, from Voltaire to whatever. There we go. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. Clear that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from Siopino, whatever, to Voltaire, to whatever to Voltaire. Well, actually, let's clear that. I'm going to go here, here. Voltaire, Cipino to Voltaire. Yeah, that's right. All right. Now you can make it so that your ships don't leave the planet without being full by clicking this tab here, but that always fucks up the routes. The ships end up just sitting. Like, I don't know if it's a bug or what, but I find that it's best just to let them load whatever happens to be there and then leave, rather than waiting for a full load. He said load. All right. So on the first trip, and take that, and we'll go with that. Now, load that up, good. And on this trip, we will go with. See, this is where having a Tessarian planet comes in, because any planet that produces ore or that produces chemicals and or metals, they also produce toxic waste. Now, Tessarians are unique in that they are not affected by toxic waste. You can ship as much toxic waste to a Tessarian planet and they will pay for it. And yes, let me go ahead and repeat that. They pay for it. So it turns toxic waste, which is generally a waste, and it becomes a commodity when you're shipping it to Tessarians. So that's why you want to start with the Tessarian planet. And in fact, you'll want to always select Tessarian planet and then build routes to surrounding planets, sort of like spokes in a wheel. And that way you can keep the flow of like metal or chemicals and toxic waste moving consistently, and you don't have to worry about when your planet's, saying, oh, we've got toxic contamination, we need warehouses, because eventually that you'll fill up all your warehouses, you won't have anything to do with the waste. Which is something that took me a while to figure out when I first started playing this game. And I build the routes this way so that I can move two different supply configurations, so that I can move people and food, and then get rid of toxic waste and other goods, metal or fuel, or chemicals, metal. All right, so